Hello, and welcome to Young People's Report. I'm Lauren Rozyla.
And I'm Andrew Grefe. Today on YPR, we'll take you to a camp where kids are swinging through the trees and show you how science can be fun and help the environment.
We'll also get some good tips on buying a bike and talk to some kids who are racing them in a fast-paced competition. But first, we're here at the Saginaw Children's Zoo, where you can spend the day with many different animals. Jaquelyn Thomas found another place where you can not only visit with them, you can take them home. She has our story.
In the past, if you wanted a pet, you only had a few choices. A dog, a cat, or one of these fuzzy little friends. Nowadays, you have many other options.
Sugar gliders, prairie dogs, some of the smaller monkeys.
These animals may sound like cool pets to choose from, but some of them are a big responsibility, which you may not be ready for.
Most of them are going to have to be fed and watered every day. Some of them might need veterinary treatment on a yearly basis. Some animals, like monkeys, also need dental care.
So with all the new pets to choose from, how do you know which pet is right for you?
I think a good starter pet for kids all around would be a dwarf rabbit. You can let them run around the house, you can housebreak them, and they stay pretty much to their cage. Yeah, I would avoid anything like some of the larger reptiles, tarantulas, scorpions. And I would say that kids shouldn't get ferrets unless they're over 10 years of age. A sugar glider is a marsupial flying squirrel from Australia, New Guinea area. It likes to eat insects, yet it eats all kinds of fruits and berries. Hedgehogs are a pretty good pet. You can housebreak them like a cat. Then again, it's a solitary animal. You should only have one. They don't do well in pairs at all. Prairie dogs are pretty good pets too. You get them at this age, they're extremely friendly. You can let them run around the home. Some people have been successful housebreaking them. They're pretty good pets. I think they're excellent pets. Alligators are a pet that, again, once you're friendly and gentle with them from the time they're 10 inches, when they get 4 or 5 feet long, they're extremely gentle yet. Chinchillas are a really nice pet, but a lot of problem with the chinchillas is that people don't realize that with fur-bearing animals like the chinchillas, the rabbits, and the ferrets, on a really, really warm day where it gets over 75, 80, 85 degrees in an apartment or a home, those animals will die from heat exhaustion.
Pets can be a lot of fun, but they are also a lot of work. If you're considering getting a pet, discuss it with your family and make sure everyone knows the responsibilities involved. From Ocean Odyssey in Saginaw, I'm Jaquelyn Thomas reporting for YPR.
Have you ever noticed how being around a friend can make you feel better? Well, some local kids are experiencing just that, with a little doctoring from man's best friend.
At the Mid-Michigan Medical Center in Midland, these dogs are not turned away at the door. The hospital welcomes them as volunteers, and patients look forward to their visits.
Maybe they were a little bit lonely or a little bit bored, but then the dogs show up and you hear it kind of trickles down the hallways. The dogs are here. And so then when they walk in, they get a nice little visit.
For Rachel, who had been in traction for a couple weeks, having the dogs visit each Monday has been great. Now that she's in a cast, the dogs can actually get on her bed with her. There are 10 dogs here who are specially trained and nationally registered as therapy dogs. These carefully selected dogs are gentle, friendly, and very well behaved.
They were very good. I think Corky tried to lick me, but I didn't mind that.
Corky and Murphy love to come to the hospital. When I go home and get Corky, I say, Corky, you want to go to the hospital and visit? And her ears come right up, and she loves the children. She especially loves children.
The patients and the staff see the therapy dogs as a relief from lying in bed.
Sometimes the patients are here for a long time, and the dogs provide diversion. They bring back memories. The patients smile. They start giggling or laughing. They start talking about their own pet that they might have at home. They just love the dogs coming and visiting with them.
For a kid like Brittany, who spent the night away from her own dogs, this visit was a welcome change from the hospital routine.
I think it's been good for her. I'm sure she misses her dogs at home. They're not as quiet as these dogs are, but it's been a good experience.
People that we visit really seem to enjoy meeting the different dogs, and there's always a dog of the right size, shape, hair length for them.
Having these four-legged volunteers around may be the spoonful of sugar that makes the medicine and treatments around here go down a bit better, which helps to make the doctor's jobs easier. These dogs can also do things that doctors can't. lift the spirits of patients throughout the hospital.
Kyle had surgery this morning and he has been feeling pretty bad. And this is the first time I've seen Kyle smile today, so I guess that's a pretty good advantage. It's neat to see him smile and neat to see the dogs acting so well and him being able to just put a bright look on his face that he hasn't had since he's been in here this morning.
Another happy patient. It's all in the day's work for these special dogs. From Mid-Michigan Medical Center in Midland, I'm David Halloran reporting for YPR.
Playing with all those animals must have been a lot of fun. Why can't I get a story like that?
We're at the zoo. How many more animals do you want?
Oh yeah, we'll be right back.
If you're looking for a fun place to go, there's a place in mid-Michigan where science leaves the classroom and becomes a playground of fun. Kyle McIntosh explains.
Every school teaches science, but sometimes it takes a museum, like the Sloan here in the Flint Cultural Center, to make science come alive. Kids from all over the area come here to discover more about the world around them, from how electricity works to how sound travels.
I think the experiment gallery is the next step in interactive science exhibits. These exhibits do a wide variety of activities. So if you're interested in light, for example, when you go up to the light experiment bench, you can do dozens of different activities. So you decide what interests you. It's not what the exhibit wants you to learn. You get to learn whatever you want about light or sound or chemistry or whatever there is in the exhibit.
This next step in science experiments uses a lot of new technology to explain science to kids, including computers like this one, which show how changes to the Earth would affect our weather. The kids we spoke to, third graders from Moore Elementary in Mount Morris, had a great time learning while they played. That's why this group of experiments is so good. They teach by showing.
I like the piano because I saw what the sounds and what they look like.
The experiments include a sound booth where kids learn about audio, music, and voice.
I don't want to go out. I want to live in here.
A cello that shows the waves of its string, and pendulums that show energy and motion.
I learned that science is something that can be really fun and it can be different.
From the Sloan Museum in Flint's Cultural Center, I'm Kyle McIntosh reporting for YPR.
Using science to learn about stuff like music can be fun. However, science has many other uses. There's a place in Saginaw that uses science every day for something a little different. Protecting our environment. Patrice Ford has our story.
When you take a shower, wash your dishes, or mom and dad's car, most people really never give a second thought about where all that water goes. Today, I'm at the Saginaw wastewater treatment plant to see how water that starts out looking like this is turned into this.
This is one of the primary settling tanks. We have 4 primary settling tanks. These tanks hold 770,000 gallons of water each. Now the water, once it comes through the sewers, and the material that we don't want in the water has been screened out with our bar screens. That water then goes through our grit channels where the grit settles out. The water then comes to the middle of the tanks, enters the tank through the middle, and this is the water that's leaving here is going to what we call a launder. That water then collects in another chamber over here near the stones, goes underground by a pipe, and it goes to the aeration tanks, to secondary treatment. That's where secondary treatment starts. This is where our solids settle out here. About 65% removal is done here in the primary settling tanks. Now the material that settles in the bottom of these tanks, we add lime to it to stabilize it, and that's the material that we pump to the sludge storage tank. Okay, these are the aeration tanks. The water now has left the primary settling tanks and it comes into these tanks. There are 4 tanks. Each tank has a capacity of 1.5 million gallons. The mixer that you see there, or the aerator, is mixing the water up to provide oxygen for the bugs or the microorganisms that are required for treating the wastewater here. So we have to maintain the proper environment for the bugs here so they don't die. Is the water, once it leaves the aeration tanks, it goes through a transfer channel and then enters into these big tanks that are final settling tanks. The material that settles in the bottom of these tanks is continuously returned to the headworks or the aeration tanks, so the microorganisms can continue to feed. It's food for them. These tanks hold 1.3 million gallons of water. Now this is the water now that would be leaving here and be going into the area where the chlorine would be added to the water. The chamber that you see in the grassy area there, that is where we add the chlorine for disinfecting the water that we've have treated at the plant here. And the tanks behind me here are chlorine contact tanks. Now at the end of the tanks is where we add another chemical, sulfur dioxide, and that is added to remove some of the chlorine.
So when they're done treating the water, it ends up here, where it is then sent to the Saginaw River as clean water to be used again. From Saginaw, I'm Patrice Ford reporting for YPR.
If you would like to know more about water recycling, or if you would like to take your own tour, you can call area code 517-759-1630 for more information.
We have to take a break, but when we come back, we'll visit a place where kids are literally swinging through the trees. Don't go away. This summer, kids will be involved in a lot of fun activities. One of the more popular ones is camp. Derek Sinclair visited a camp in mid-Michigan to see what it's all about. He has our story.
Lots of parents send their kids to specialized camps. There are camps that focus on theater, soccer, computers, and even oceanography. But the most important thing about camp is having fun. This is Camp Timbers, a YMCA camp in West Branch for kids from the Saginaw area. The program doesn't focus on any one activity, but allows the kids to choose from a wide range of options.
Well, we like to do variety Camp Timbers because kids like to do different things. So somebody may really like to swim, or they might like to climb a tower, or might maybe ride a horse. Not everybody likes to ride horses, not everybody likes to swim. So we try to do lots of things so kids get choices of what they want to do and what they want to pick, so they can feel good about what they're doing and feel good about themselves.
Being an overnight camp, most kids are here for a full week or two, away from their parents.
They can kind of get away for a week from the hustles and bustles of mom and dad, and away from the television set and some of the pressures that are associated with living in neighborhoods, and can get away and be with friends almost instantly.
Each day after breakfast, the campers clean their cabins and then head out for morning activities. They can go to everything from archery to volleyball. Some of the popular places are the Ropes Challenge Course. And horseback riding.
I liked when I went horseback riding because it was fun.
I like riding them, and I like to feed them and stuff like that.
I like riding bikes because they're fun and you go down hills.
Being together with my friends, always being outdoors, getting a lot of new experiences.
I like biking, horse riding, playing sports, and eating.
The kids take time out for lunch and then rest period before heading back to activities for the afternoon. Then dinner, an evening activity, and a campfire before bed. I got a chance to try out the ropes course.
You can do it.
First, they gave me a quick lesson on climbing.
And I step over on this platform here. We'll transfer to the next element.
Then they let me climb the ladder to the middle of the course. Then I went across the rope into the zip line.
Good job. Come on, Derek. Good job, Derek. Good job, Derek. Get into it, JC. You can do it.
YMCA's Camp Timbers in West Branch. I'm Derek Sinclair, playing for YPR.
Camp can be a fun experience that most kids will always remember.
However, if camp is not an option for you, where would you like to go? Paris, London, or even Disneyland? That's the question we asked some local kids in our YPR Question of the Week.
I would like to go to Japan and to learn the language.
I would like to go to the U.S. Space and Rocket Center because I'm a great admirer of the space program.
I like to go to Washington, D.C. because I would like to meet the president.
I would like to go to Paris, France, to see the Eiffel Tower with my friends.
I'd like to go to Brazil because I like the way they hunt and kill all their food.
I'd like to go to California because, well, Disneyland's there and it's the farthest place away from school.
I would like to go to Taiwan because I've been there before and I have some relatives there and I think my friends would enjoy going.
I'd like to go to Alaska because it's really cold there and it's far away from school and everybody'd be cold and I'd be warm because I'd have a heater.
I would like to go to Egypt because I've studied about the culture and I think it's very interesting.
I would like to go to Ireland because a lot of my family's from Ireland.
I'd like to go to Australia to learn how to surf and fish.
I would like to go to Hawaii, fly a plane there, let us off the plane, then the plane leaves and we'll be stranded on the island and never be able to come back to school. I would like to go to Hollywood to meet all the superstars.
I would like to go to the NBA Finals and meet all the players from the final game and play on the court.
I want to go to Walt Disney because I heard that it was really fun there.
I would want to go to every amusement park with a free pass for as long as I want to stay.
I'd go to Washington, D.C. to find out all about the presidents and go to the Hard Rock Cafe.
I want to go to Graceland so I could tour Elvis's home because I really like Elvis. Pluto because it's the farthest place away from school.
I would like to go to Canada because I'm learning how to speak Canadian.
If you have a suggestion for Question of the Week or story idea for YPR, drop us a line. The best way is to write us a note and send it to Young People's Report, NBC 25, P.O. Box 250, Clio, Michigan 48420. You never know, you could be our next story.
We have to take another break. But when we come back, we'll not only find out all about bikes, we'll meet some kids who are racing them. Don't go away. Like with any sport, you need the right equipment for biking. So, how do you know what you need? Nick Witchger found that out by going to the experts, and he filed this report.
The sport of biking has grown by leaps and bounds in the past couple of years. Today we're at the stable in Saginaw, and we're going to take a look at some of the things you should consider when buying a new bike.
Well, to get started in mountain biking, what you should really start thinking of is the bike that you want to purchase, the purpose that you want to use the bike for, and also accessories like a helmet, that's very important to use. Also having possibly a glove, a bicycle glove, so if you do fall off your bike, you're not gonna skid up your hands. So the bike part of it, you should be starting anywhere from $200 to $300 to get started at our store, and you're gonna get a very nice bike. What you have to do is get onto the bike just like you are right now. You want to be able to straddle the top tube of the bike and make sure that you're not hitting it when you're straddling it. Also, a good idea is to pick up the front tire with your feet flat and have a few inches of distance between the tire and the floor. That way, when you're jumping off the bike, you know that you're going to be safe without hitting the top tube. Okay, the next thing is when you're on the bike and you're riding, you want to have a small break in your elbow so they're not locked out straight. You want to have them slightly bent like they are right now. That way it allows your body to absorb shock. and not get the shock transfer from the front of the bike right through your arms up into your back. That way you can get a sore neck. And the last thing you want to make sure when you buy a bike is to test ride the bike. Go outside of the store, ride it around. You want to feel very comfortable.
I've got my helmet, glasses, and gloves, and I'm ready to take this bike for a test ride. From the stable in Saginaw, this is Nick Witchger reporting for YPR.
If you already have a bike, make sure you have it checked out by an expert at least once a year.
If you enjoy the sport of biking, you might want to consider trying it on a more professional level. There are many different kinds of competitions you can get involved in. Justin Zuehlke checked out one and filed this report.
Everyone has ridden a bike, but racing them is one of the fastest growing sports in the area. We're here at Richfield Park where they're holding the state championships.
This is a very, very highly competitive sport. This is not like a team sport where you have 8 guys you have to count on. This is an individual sport. It is them, their bicycle, a starting line and a finish line.
I like to win, and I like the challenging things.
I like racing because it's a challenge and I like to get hurt.
My friend helped me get into it. He said it was really fun, so I just wanted to try it. And I'm an expert now, and I win all the time.
We have sons, fathers, daughters who all race as family teams.
You can all go out. If you have a brother, you can do it with your brother, your sister. You can go out to the track and just have fun, like have a picnic like every weekend. And it's something that you can do at any level. You can be either real good, when you first start out, you're small and you really don't know what you're doing. And then you can go all the way up to pro.
Rode a lot when I was like 3 years old. I always jumped off curves and stuff like that and said, hey man, I want to try this. So here I am. And it's just a fun sport to do. It's a cool thing to do.
It's fun, and I like practicing, and it's just fun.
These racers are trying for a top 10 finish, which will put them on the state team. If you want to get involved, come on out any Sunday between 11 and 4. From Richfield Park, I'm Justin Zuehlke reporting for YPR.
If you'd like to get involved, check for a BMX track in your area or ask a local bike dealer for suggestions.
That's all the time we have for this week. Thanks for joining us.
Have a great weekend. Don't go away.
Hi, Mr. Sheep. Oh, we're off. Come in here and sit.
Look at what Oprah did to my shirt.
We'll take care of it.